to the level of 450 square metres, which at that time I think only Forest Gardens in Cairns was at that level of density. And here they were putting that level of density out into what is rural residential, mostly 5-acre blocks. There's been some fillings in the last 10 years, but it's primarily what it is. So that's a very specific question that we have right now, because it's pertinent to the development application. But in a broader context, it's just, is that the sort of thing that's going on with our planning schemes? That it's really so much pro-developer that there's not really much that communities can actually do.
There's always something communities can do, but my view is, and feel free to dive in on this, but that's the way it's set up. There's the whole state regime, planning regimes to make it developer friendly, all that code accessible stuff. So it can just, which in theory makes sense if it's very clearly fits with stuff that's already agreed principles, and you don't want to have a pile of red tape, but it's just being used as a loophole so wide that everything just becomes tick and flick and the community can't touch it. And the core town planning matters ignored, let alone community or environment. And to the frustration of many local councils often, that where they know the examples where they know a development's strongly opposed by the local community and the council knows it's bad, that under the state law it's code accessible, and if they challenge it in court they'll lose. So when councils oppose development, sometimes they're saying, well, we can't do anything about it. If we block it, the developer will take it to court and win, and we're out for all the legal fees. Ratepayers got to pay for that, and I hear that time and time again. So
why did they put the overriding proviso in there, though, that it shouldn't go ahead if there is a bone of contention between the community and the council? And that is one of the restrictions on the council being able to do it. It specifically reads something along the lines of...
Is this the delegation you're talking about, Peter?
No, I'm talking about, yes, I am talking about the delegated power in the council will not do anything that is going to cause shit and derision, pardon my French, in the community, between the community and the council. Now that is the only overriding proviso that really anybody can fall back on and say, well, why did you go ahead with this decision?
But is that to do with code accessible and impact accessible? But if it's either and it falls within the law, then they have to approve it. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think, can I just answer that? Yeah. I think in this case, it's simply about whether or not the CEO can make the decision on his own, or whether he has to get input from council. But what Andrew's talking about is just the more general thing where the council as a whole decides that they don't want it, and what happens there, what the developer does. Is that right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know enough about the specifics of this to be able to say that applies here, but it sort of smells like it. Doesn't mean there's nothing people can do, but the sort of standard approach of relying on the logic, evidence, facts, often isn't enough, and that's because of the way that planning laws are written at state level. Having said that, it sounds like you've got a council that's quite happy for it to go ahead anyway, and that makes it worse, because if you've got a smart lawyer or developer that knows the law and's got a supportive person inside the council, they just know how to flip it all through, and it's all done before the community even knows about it half the time, sometimes quite deliberately, and it's very hard. And certainly, I guess from my point of view, and probably Michael Berkman's as well, it's hard for people at my level, or probably his, unless there's clear breaking of the law or corruption in a brown paper envelope type of way, to do much about that, which is, I guess, where you then get into some of the wider, does it breach the planning scheme, or the F&Q regional plan, or some of these, from what you've got here anyway, looks like it would seem to pretty clearly require EPBC approval. and potentially even what he's doing now. I mean, he hasn't just the what do you call it, her cow
The
that
quad
hasn't
bikes. Yeah.
hasn't needed to get permits for that particularly. It's his land, it's roomed as rules.
The council has approved it. They've taken no responsibility for anything under the Nature Conservation Act in terms of the frog that's there. And so the only alternate we had was it did say in the approval that that the proponent needed to actually go to refer themselves to the EPBC if they felt that there were any matters of concern. Obviously they were already talking to the EPBC in relation to the EIS proposal that they were putting together. So one presumes that they have referred themselves under this development application, but to make sure we've reported them anyway, which is all that we can do. But I have to say that that's an extremely frustrating and really lacking process, that the EPBC relies on the good application of that Act relies a lot, I think, on communities actually seeing things that are happening or being aware and actually, responding direct to the department about something. But there is no feedback. First of all, we're quite clear that there's insufficient staff to cover all of the problems that must be facing them.